To have a positive relationship between our community and the police department is really important because we want everyone in Lower Merion Township to feel safe, to feel comfortable around our police. And we also want our police to understand the challenges that we're going through so that they are able to effectively interact with and help us.
I think what makes Lower Merion's Police Department a little bit different is that they made a commitment early on in the late 70s that they were going to be involved in the crime prevention programs. They were going to make the citizens involved in the community watch programs. That is what makes Lower Merion stand out a little bit from other departments.
We want to work with each of the different neighborhoods, each of the communities. What are their individual problems and how together can we resolve them? The heart and soul of the police department is the patrol division. It's the officers delivering the service every day out in the streets. And what's remarkable to me is how much feedback we get from our community about the positive interactions they have with our police officers. And I think the reason for that is our officers, they really embrace our culture and our core values, which are integrity, respect, and professionalism.
The community of Lower Merion is very, very engaged, and they engage through a variety of methods. We have a police minority relations committee that actually deals with our minority community, but we have a variety of civic associations that represent each neighborhood, and each one of those civic associations regularly meets and regularly engages not only with the police department, but with all of us government officials.
My name is Christine Dixon Anderson, and I am the chair of the Police and Minority Relations Committee. Basically, our role is to be the liaison between the police department and the community. In many instances, people are not comfortable talking with police officers, especially if an incident arises. They have access to all of the members on our committee. They can call us at any time. Whatever we can do to try and resolve whatever issue it is, that's what we try to do.
Well, in Lower Merion, we understand that we really need to understand what people are going through, what kind of services they need. So whether it's working with our Police and Minority Relations Committee, our civic associations, we'll come out and talk to them about what's going on, what their concerns are, and try to come up with a solution.
I think our path as a committee is to ensure that there is good communication between the minority community in Lower Merion Township and its police department. I mean, police doing their job has always been stressful. But it's also stressful to be this color and to be walking around and to be targeted and profiled, right, in certain situations. So I think having the committee breaking down those kind of barriers between, the two groups and fostering relationships is just super important.
Lower Merion residents are very involved. They have high expectations for their government services and particularly for their police services. So they expect a department that keeps them safe and protects the community, but also engages with the community and feels a part of the community.
The crime prevention aspect and community relations aspect of the Lower Merion Police Department is very unique. If it was not what it was, I probably would have never gotten involved. Typically, in a given community, only 5 to 7% of the people volunteer for the Crime Watch, which means that 93% of course do not. And I felt that we needed to have a high-profile type of event that could cause attention to be dealt to the Crime Watch community and get more volunteers involved. So I had this brilliant idea that we would have this one night a year where people lock their doors, turn on their front porch lights, and sit on their porch for an hour. And now, this past August, National Night Out involved 16,000 communities across the country. The citizens care, and there's a lot of them out there. And if you give them the opportunity to help, they will help. And it doesn't mean carrying a gun or making a traffic stop, but they will help. And I think a lot of communities need to open up their departments to the community.
I've been a lifelong resident of the Auburn community, and it's very important to me that we try and get along as much as possible, that we address the issues we need to as much as possible. And in today's world, it's very important that we have a good relationship with our police department.
Community outreach is a winning model. It works. You know, a lot of times people think that, you know, it's pie in the sky, it's academic way of addressing the situation. But boots on the ground, you do it day in, day out, you're going to see positive outcomes.